Did you know that one of the original pitches for this movie was that it was going to be taken in the future? And I don't know if I'm glad or if I'm sad that they went with the 1920s Prohibition era instead, and instead would have gone through for a more of a cyberpunk, futuristic, John Carpenter-esque setting of like a small town with, in the future. It could have worked, but knowing what science fiction movies looked like in the mid-90s, it probably would have been more in the veins of Dread, and maybe that was the right thing to do. This is Last Man Standing. John Smith, what an original name, huh? Is a drifter coming from nowhere, going nowhere, and ends up on a small dot in a dusty town in Texas. Now he checks out the local skirt, but that is unfortunately the local gangster's squeeze. So they puncture a hole in his tires and tells him to go fuck off. He does, a little bit. Then he comes back and shoots everybody. This leads to them realizing, hey, he has a really, good hand with guns. Maybe we should hire him. The town is divided into two, an Italian gang and an Irish gang. But soon he starts, working for the one gang and then the other gang, and then he starts turning them against each other. And if you're thinking right now, hey, this sounds kind of familiar, it does. It is the fourth movie in the Red Harvest quadrilogy we're having today. It is, of course, basically the same story as A Fistful of Dollars, Joe Jimbo, and of course everyone's favorite masterpiece, The Warrior and the Sorceress. The grungy music I really like. It gives the movie its own feeling and its own identity. It's great. Action sequences are good, but nothing special. They do have some almost Hong Kong-esque action sequences taking place in some of the shootouts, which is nice, and Walter Hill knows what he's doing, he's no slouch. The movie does have a problem working against itself, and it's called Bruce Willis. This is I Don't Care Bruce Willis in full operational mode. It's not very interesting to see him because you don't really care about him. The villains are great. They have a lot of personality on both of the gangs, but they have one man that will save them all. And the man is called, I want more cowbells, Hickey. Christopher Walken is so great in this one. The best thing about this movie is that they're talking about Hickey. They're giving him a backstory and we've never seen him. And then you introduce him and he is as awesome as you think he is. This is another great Walken performances where you don't quite sure what he goes for, but whatever he does, it works gangbuster. Personally for me, this is an entertaining movie. It moves along fairly well. It has some good performances, but there isn't anything new in this one, and there isn't anything remarkable about it. It is just an action thriller set in the 1920s. It's a good period piece in the sense that you feel the period. If they would have casted somebody else as John Smith, they probably could have gone away with a better movie, but I don't know. It feels kind of lackluster at some points. The finale is great shootouts, but nothing in the awesomeness of Joe Jimbo and A Fistful of Dollars. If this would have been the first attempt at making a Red Harvest novel-esque movie, this would have been a great movie, but it just carries that much baggage of that dragging around the two fantastic movies and the one freaking awful one behind itself. I think it is a pretty good movie. Walter Hill is not an idiot, but it isn't remarkably fantastic or anything like that. It is a pretty good movie. There is nothing really offensively awful that happens in this one. Despite having disinterested Bruce Willis in this one, it is still a pretty entertaining movie. It's fast-paced, it's short, it has its moments, some great villains, especially Walken, pretty good cinematography and a great score. It gets 55 points. It isn't fantastic, but it is pretty entertaining. This marks the final of the 4 Red Harvest quadrilogy movies I have now reviewed. One of them being on a trampoline, so there you go by that. But I'll see you next time from so-and-so reviewing, well, such and such. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.